Hi, this is KryptoSeoul Erica, episode 29. I hope you hear me well. Last time there was a sound problem, so I can't really tell if it's okay. I'll try to speak as clearly as possible. Hello, everyone. I was a little hesitant to do this show today because the market is falling. It's so bad. Hi, Investor Milton. The market is falling really bad, and the atmosphere is not very positive. So I was a little hesitant to, last time when I was smiling at my show, some were kind of like saying, "Oh, why are you smiling? The market is bad." But I just have to do what I have to do. But the atmosphere in Seoul is also very dull at the moment. People are devastated, but I think there were many chain of events that led to this market fall, but nothing direct in Korea. I should kind of cover what's been going on in Korea, but nothing significantly has been changed to make this downfall. But still, let's go over what happened. Let's go and see what happened this week. So a lot of things. I'm just gonna cover the recent news that I just saw an hour ago. So this is not in the list of in the description side, but I just wanted to cover it as well. So I'm just going to deal a lot with Korea Blockchain Association. This is actually Korea KBIPA. Okay, this is a different. Okay, so there are many associations in Korea, obviously, that deal with blockchain industry, and two of them are the representative ones are KBA, Korea Blockchain Association, and this one KBIPA. So it's a little different. I think the members are different. KBA deals mostly with exchanges and businesses associating with it, but KBIPA has more. I think a little different side of members. So. But this was a recent news an hour ago, and it says that KBIPA has partnership with Dankook University in Korea. So I think a lot of associations are trying to have partnerships with existing universities and to make their association more legit. So I think they're trying to focus more on education because the educational side is always lacking in blockchain, and if the content is not there, still it's very lacking in content as well, especially in Korean. In English, I think there's a lot of contents relatively, but in Korean, there's really just a few contents that are legitimate and pretty reasonable. So I think, there's going to be a lot of need for educational development because there's, I'm searching like online. There's like really few lists, so that I can really trust. So that's basically it. And this is talking about the Korea Blockchain Association. It's a different association, there was a conference a few days ago that was hosted by the Korea Blockchain Association, and Jin Dae-jae, he's actually an ex-minister of the Ministry of Telecommunications, ICT basically, and he's actually the forefront of the KBA, and he's giving many talks these days in Korea. He's a big deal, and actually is trying to make the industry legitimate, has more standards, more, I don't know, in a positive way. So he means well, basically. And he gives a lot of inspiring talks. And during his talk, he said that the association will try its best to filter out all the bad, projects or bad, just the bad negative vibes surrounding the industry. And the KBA is, I'm going to cover it later, but KBA is well known for its self-regulatory measures, especially targeting towards exchanges. So Bithumb, Upbit's all included in the KBA, the major exchanges, and they don't have to abide by it, but it's a self-regulatory measure. So it actually proves that they have tried enough to be more transparent. And more, I guess, more like a business, like actual business, right? And so he's, I think the KBA is trying really hard also to, prosper a lot of education as well. So it's, on many ends, it's trying to sponsor, support many events covered in Seoul and a lot of projects as well. So Bitham actually, as a response to the self-regulatory measures emphasized by the KBA, Bitham, is trying also really hard to renew its image, that it's not going to deal with countries that have weak AML measures. So those countries are called NCCT, non-cooperative countries and territories. And so residents who are living in those countries, they're going to ban the transactions from those countries and the residents there. So those countries include, let's see, does it say which countries that includes? Probably North Korea, of course, right? And Iran. Oh, yeah, there it is. Iran, Iraq, Sri Lanka. So I think this NCCT was designated by the Financial Action Task Force on Money Laundering. And such countries cover like North Korea and unstable countries. So Bitham is trying to prove that it's abiding by the KYC AML measures, and it's exchanges are trying pretty much hard and suffering a lot these days, especially because under the eye of the investigations and all, it's not doing really well, and this article was also covered in that the investigations are not only covering the exchanges, but also the development tech companies that are supporting the ICOs abroad. So, the ICOs are happening abroad, but the tech companies that are supporting it, the developers and all, they're in Korea, right? So, there's been a lot of, I think there's been investigations surrounding this, and that the industry is now kind of in the Korean vibe is that, this is the inevitable measures that, was supposed to come, and we should face it, of course. This is something that should have been done months ago, but the government has been very lenient. Because of the, elections and all. It's going to happen soon, by the way. It's in June, so it's almost June. I think people are a little nervous, and at the same time, kind of hopeful in that there's going to be some significant changes, and hopefully for the better, right? So and the ICOs, of course, are not I don't think it's gonna be like 100% prohibited. So hopefully that can be also measure that it's gonna be positive as well. So I think Icon for example, Icon, the loop was actually the developer group behind Icon, right? The loop, and so I guess those, for example, those companies would be under investigation. I'm not saying just Icon, but also other just tech companies. And I don't know what this is about. This huge logo, Upbit. So the Upbit investigation, I think a lot of people are saying that it's a little bit illegitimate for the government to investigate Upbit. There's many noise surrounding it, but I think it's been stabilized a little bit. I think there's not been something significant from Upbit side. So I think just the measure that has to be done. It's the largest exchange in Korea. So Bitham wasn't under investigation, so why not Upbit? So I think that was the measure, the motivations behind this. But I don't think nothing significantly negative has come out of this whole investigation. We'll have to see. But as of now, I think it's just a little bit quiet now. Let's see. How will they invest? Is there a big problem of fraud? Yeah, the fraud thing. So HDAC, it's a project. I think it's by Hyundai, Hyundai Group, but I think it's under a Hyundai group subsidiary. So a small subsidiary of Hyundai Group. Hyundai Group is huge in Korea, by the way. Hyundai is one of the top conglomerates like Hyundai, LG, SK, right, Samsung. It's all under those, big categories. And Hyundai Group has many subsidiaries, and this Hyundai B, S, and C. This is a subsidiary of Hyundai Group, official subsidiary, and it developed HDAC project, so-called Hyundai Coin, and there's been a lot of controversy lately over the pre-mined coins, like the coins that have been mined like many like way before, so that it's actually been cost free, and that people are worried that they have dominated this huge amount of coins, and they will probably dump it, maybe, I don't know, like, and the market will be market would be significantly harmed due to this. So HDAC was a huge project. I remember I'm not really hugely involved in HDAC. I don't even know much about HDAC, but it's been under a lot of scrutiny these days. So there was actually an article, a blog post basically, online that kind of pointed at the problems surrounding HDAC and its mining process. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of ugly. I mean, there's nothing been like significantly confirmed by the HDAC project. I think by tomorrow they will have an official announcement. That's what they said surrounding this controversy, but we'll have to see. So people invested in HDAC, don't panic. But there's been some noise surrounding it. That's for sure. And yeah, so Kakao is also developing its own blockchain, and Kakao G has been established. So there's been GroundX that I previously announced before. So GroundX is a blockchain subsidiary of Kakao Group officially, but it also established Kakao G, which is gonna be actually like in charge of GroundX. So it's going to be like the mother company of GroundX. So I suppose this is a measure to kind of imply that there's going to be many other companies within the Kakao G umbrella, including GroundX. So hopefully this can be like an implication that the blockchain business will be more expanded on Kakao's side. I mean, Kakao is huge. I mean, it has Kakao Games, Kakao Payment, Kakao like Bank, everything. So to cover all those businesses, I'm sure there needs to be many more resources put into the blockchain business if it were to cover all those businesses. So this is, he's the chairman of Kakao Group, Kim Bum-soo, and so Kakao G, so very excited to see what's gonna be the case for Kakao, but I'm sure they're working really hard. I mean, I saw a notice today that Kakao GroundX is hosting this event, so it's trying to be very active, right, in the ecosystem here, and to support a lot of good projects in Korea. Kakao G means Kakao Ground. Oh, yes. Oh, right, exactly. So Kakao Ground 1, is it Kakao Ground 1, Ground 2? Yeah, I think, exactly. So, okay. Kakao G is going to be the head company that will direct the direction of the investment and the business of Kakao blockchain business. And the GroundX is going to be subsidiary of Kakao G, and it's going to be developing the blockchain service of Kakao. And there's going to be Ground 1 in Korea, and then there's going to be Ground 2 or Ground 3 elsewhere. So in other countries as well. So it's not going to be only confined in Korea. It's going to be a global business. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, this is very exciting. There's a lot of ground something in Korea. So the naming is very similar. So I'm getting confused, right? There's Ground X, up ground. There's like many grounds and many blocks in the naming. So it's hard, very confusing. But yeah, I'm very excited for Kakao. Ground X will be the main. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is I'm just trying to kind of say that these days there's a lot of tech seminars going on in Korea. So I mean, there's been a lack of a lot of seminars that are tech driven. But these days, I mean, there's on there. It's actually happening right now. There's another seminar hosted by on there. It's a tech company. It's consulting actually in terms of tech, developing a lot. So it's hosting a lot of tech seminars for a lot of developers. So it's a really good, vibe to see, especially in this market where there's like no like hope for investment. I mean, for a lot of ordinary traders like me, it's just like hopeless. So I think it's just a good time to learn and to attend these seminars so that we can kind of like, use the time to fulfill with good knowledge and to learn more about the industry, to have more hope, more like just like strong will, I guess. So yeah, I mean, this is just an example of these seminars that are happening here. And I think after the economy, like there's been a huge, massive like conferences being planned. Every month, there's at least like one conference going on in Korea. Whether or not it's going to be huge or, small, it's just going crazy. So all media, all like every sort of media is doing their own conference, basically. So it's like getting really confusing now. And in July, there's like Korea Blockchain Week, and there's Block Camp. There's so many events going on in Korea. So if you're planning to visit Korea, I suggest you look at what conferences there are and to kind of plan your like trip around it. That'd be really helpful. And I mean, I think some of these, events are not, pretty global scale, and also can be tech driven as well. So I suggest, you visit Korea at some point this year to just kind of see what's really happening and meet some of the major players here, just to see the environment. So that's it. And I'm not really familiar with EOS actually, but the EOS is huge in Korea, that's for sure. Of course, Ethereum is huge too, but EOS is comparably pretty has a large community here in Korea. So there's been Block One Korea established here, and it's been announced like publicly. I'm sure many of you seen the live stream from the Korea meetup. It was huge. I remember it was very big, very fancy. And recently there was an event hosted. Well, it had a lot of block producers, the nominees for the BPs that were participating in this event. So it's called EOS Seoul Meetup. And I didn't go to the meetup, but the meetup covered that, there's going to be this EOS Tower established in Seoul. So I'm like, I was pretty, I don't know, like this is a really big project. So I'm like in awe to see this if it were to happen. But yeah, I mean, this was covered in the news. So I just wanted to, share it. So EOS, so Planning Korea will be in charge of this project, and it's going to have incubators, VCs. It's for all the ecosystem, right? Surrounding the blockchain ecosystem. So, I mean, EOS is trying to invest heavily, I suppose. And Planning Korea will be like, provide a office space for super nodes in the EOS Tower. Interesting. And and I think a lot of Korean VPs are like really like actively trying to be a VP. So I mean, like they're really, really trying. There's been a lot of energy behind this, and I think there's like at least 5 nominees. There's more. I think more to come. I think recently there's been a lot of promising teams that are that are applying to be a VP. So, I mean, who knows, right? Hopefully, there's going to be one from Korea. Yeah, we'll see. So, interesting. Yeah. Educating for... Yes. EOS is in trouble, I think. Did you see the news today? EOS... Yeah, well, yes. I mean, I'm not... I'm not a huge follower on EOS. Like personally, I'm just trying to cover that, EOS is big in Korea, and I don't know why. I think it's Mostly, I think there's a lot of marketing, like good marketing done here. And there's a lot of potential for EOS, I guess. People see a lot of potential in that. I can't really say, but yeah, EOS is one of the big projects that are, followed by a lot of Koreans. And EOS dApps too. There's a lot of EOS dApps coming up. Of course, Ethereum dApps are dominating. Of course, there's a huge volume, but still, EOS is following behind. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to cover what projects have a good presence here. Like last week, the QuantStamp, CEO came, and there's many projects that come to Korea, and just to, see the whole, environment, the atmosphere, and meet the major players. And I mean, I think a lot of Koreans now feel that long-term investment in terms of not only money-wise, but also education-wise, very important to learn about this whole system, because it's very confusing. It changes a lot, and you need to really adapt to the changes going on. And even for me, every day it's a huge challenge, and many changes happening. But Korea is a really fast-paced market. So are you in Korea? Yes, I'm in Korea. I'm located mostly in Seoul, so I'm mostly here. I was in Consensus last time, but other than that, I'm mostly in Seoul. So I cover the news that are happening in Korea, basically. And yes, have you ever read Last Dose? Yes, I read Last Dose. I did, yes. Why aren't you interested in EOS? No, I mean, just, I don't know, preference. I mean, I invested in EOS, but, I'm not a huge investor on EOS. I mean, just kind of, I like to know many projects that have a big presence in Korea, that's all. So, I mean, just to cover, and EOS is something that's, cannot be ignored, right? It's just, pretty significant portion is being invested by Koreans, so naturally I'm interested in it, but I don't, directly, I don't, work with them or anything, so. Yes. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can write. But I mean, I'm pretty much located here so that I can see what's going on, especially in the government level. Yes, education for devs is very important. Of course, it's very important. And I think there's a deadlock, right? I mean, we know there's an importance, but there's nobody to teach them. I mean, people who are good developers, blockchain developers, they're busy doing their own project, basically, so they don't really want to teach. I mean, they don't have the time to teach, and so there's a conflict there. And so, oh, you work with EOS. Oh, okay. Hi. Yeah, of course. I'm sure you were here for the events. Yeah, EOS is huge. Yeah, so good marketing, yes, and good. I mean, really good job, right? I appreciate it. And I think, yeah, there's so many projects trying to visit Korea, so I can't really keep track of every project that comes to Korea. There's so many. So I'm also hosting events, meetups for them. So whenever good projects come and they want to host a meetup, I help them to have a good exposure to the Korean market. That's what I do. What projects are Koreans heavily invested in besides EOS? Let's see. Yes, so I think, okay, so QTOM is one big project that Koreans heavily invested in. That's what I think. QTOM, pretty big. NEO, pretty big too. Ethereum, of course, no doubt. Ethereum, of course, very, very big. Ethereum, EOS, NEO, QTOM. I think mostly platform coins, ADA. Oh, ADA too. ADA, Cardano, pretty big, of course. Compared to their total volume, transaction volume, I think Korea is pretty dominant in ADA, QTOM. Yeah. How can you contact for you setting up meetups? You can email me for meetups. Okay, I'm trying to write That's my official like business email. So if you want to, yeah, if you want to like have some like EOS has their own Korean like meetup group, I think. But if you want to do it separately, that's fine. We'd love to have Dan Larimer here. Like we would love for him to I think Koreans would love to have Dan Larimer here, but it's just really hard to get him in Asia, like specifically. But anyway, yes. So if you have any questions, you can email me there. Also, KryptoSeoul@gmail.com. That's also my other account. Yeah. So if you have any questions or any good like, unfortunately, there's no icon news. Sorry about that. But I think the icon is all. Yeah, they hosted recently New Kids on the Block. There was a event, a hackathon, sort of hackathon, right? So yeah, they're also good at hosting events, sponsoring events. They're very, very active in that. So yes, great. Oh, okay. Yes. Let me know. I'll take a look, of course. I mean, yeah. Thank you. So yeah. So thank you for tuning in. See you next week, and hopefully it'll be in June. Today, right now is end of May, so it'll be in June, and I'll bring some fresh news for next week. So yeah. Oh, Mediblock. What happened to Mediblock? Mediblock, they're doing fine. They're doing what they're doing. Yeah. Mediblock. I don't really. I mean, I used to. Yeah, they have many partnerships, I think. I haven't really been following them recently, but I'll take a look if you want me to. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. And see you next week. Okay. Bye.